Hello, happy Monday,
We're here
folks.
again.
We're here somehow, miraculously. We made it.
We're in the nice studio.
Yeah, I don't know why.
We got kicked up. Somehow got promoted to the cool studio.
For now, they're going to demote us soon enough, so don't worry.
We don't know why we're here.
Welcome to another episode of the 359.
This thing.
That thing. We're going to be talking about the big headline for this morning, Verizon with its mega merger, buying Yahoo, and
Yeah.
trying to make sense of that.
Not that surprising. This has been anticipated for
not that
quite some
surprising.
time.
But it's a bit of a head scratcher because we're
It's
trying to figure out why
a lot to talk about.
Someone would want to spend nearly $5 billion on Yahoo. Next up, we'll be talking about the Democratic National Convention. Our own Maggie Reardon is at the event, and she'll be reporting from there throughout the week. We've got a good story from her today.
About crowdfunding, yeah.
Crowdfunding. Lastly, just a little bit of fun. We're going to talk about Comic-Con and our reactions to some of the hotter trailers that came out. Wonder Woman and Justice League.
Yes.
Yes.
I watched them both.
You seem so enthusiastic about it.
I mean, I'll save some of it for the podcast.
Yeah, we can talk about the podcast.
How many dark Zack Snyder comic book movies could we get shoved down our throats? Apparently an unending amount of them.
If Warner Brothers has its way,
all
a
of them.
ceaseless, just a never-ending stream of
Just keep
dark,
taking money.
nihilistic superhero movies that will take our money.
Yeah.
So
plenty to talk about today.
Yeah,
For a Monday in the summer.
I know. It's supposed to be quiet, right? This is supposed to be the dog days. Are we at the dog days yet?
We're definitely, there are dogs around.
All right. As always, if you have any questions about any of these topics, feel free to leave them in the comments section. Our producer, Brian, will lay some of these questions onto us, and we will do our best to answer them. Although, I don't really know anything, so we'll No, I'm kidding. Let's get started with the taping.
All right.
Brian, whenever you're ready.
You got the stopwatch ready?
We do.
Yep.
Okay, let's kick off the recording in 3, 2.
Welcome to the 359, where we talk about the top tech news of the day and all the other crap we want to throw in. I'm Roger Cheng.
I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
So it finally happened. Verizon acquired Yahoo for $4.8 billion. The deal, which has long been rumored, will theoretically bolster Verizon's digital ad and media business, which it first jumped into last year with its acquisition of AOL. But Ben, does this make sense to you?
Only a little because of the AOL purchase, but
Right.
What exactly are they going to actually end up doing with these two well past their peak internet pioneers?
Yeah, it's funny. They've become sort of this collector of trailblazing internet companies from way back in the day that have long since lost their relevancy.
Yeah, they're going to buy like the manufacturer of Rubik's Cube sometime soon.
Well, look, the idea is Verizon, doesn't just want to be your phone company, right? They feel like there's limited growth there, so they want to branch out. They want to take on Google. They want to take on Facebook. They want to be this ad platform, and they feel like with the reach that they have, like 112 million wireless connections, that they could do this with this ad platform that they're going to be inheriting or building together with Yahoo and AOL.
I kind of like AT&T's play a little bit more on this. They
Seems to make
like,
more sense, right?
Yeah, they did this like really splashy, much bigger acquisition of DirecTV, and that to me seemed to be like a much better glom onto a phone company.
Right.
This you're taking assets that are already kind of weak, somewhat tarnished, have been in a perennial turnaround state, and we'll see what Verizon ends up doing with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's just interesting to know that Verizon for the last year or so has been really keen on trying to go after the millennials. They tried to do this with Go90, their video app. The thing of it is with Yahoo's audience skews a lot older. Folks who actually.
Yes, when I think Yahoo, I think millennials.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I don't know if they quite get what they acquired, since it's the audience that follows Yahoo isn't really the hip audience they're going after.
Well, luckily they get Tumblr out of this, and Tumblr is really impressive, right? I mean, like that's something.
Don't make fun of
really
Tumblr.
to
I
look
have
forward
2
to.
Tumblr accounts.
Really?
Not just 1, but 2.
I don't have any. All right, next up, the Democratic National Convention starts today in Philadelphia, my hometown, and plenty of delegates got to the city of brotherly love using crowdfunding. Since it can cost something like $4,000 to get to there, folks have used GoFundMe or Indiegogo. Those have become much more critical to delegates. So That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's the cool thing is like this is sort of like the modern day take on like hosting a party at a bar with your friends and raising funds to send you off to these conventions. Like they've always been expensive, and it's kind of crazy. It's surprising to me that it's $4,000. Like it could cost you as much as $4,000.
Like the hotels, like the price on the hotels can go up like crazy. Like it
Right.
mentions in the story that it's like $380 a night.
Yep.
Which I will tell you,
Or
being
as
from
much-
Philadelphia, that is
as
really
much
expensive
as
for
much
that
as
city.
$600 a night, and there's no choice. Like you have to stay at these designated hotels.
Right. So one of the interesting fun facts from the story, GoFundMe mentioned that it helped raise more than $385,000 for more than 360 delegates. So
Cool.
not a small amount at all.
Not too shabby. Our own Maggie Reardon will be on at the DNC, so expect more DNC coverage from CNET throughout the week. Lastly, just want to talk about Comic-Con and our reactions. Zack Snyder's at it again with clips from the Justice League. What do you think?
There was like some humor in there, but you could tell it was still Zack Snyder doing it. So
It's very
I
grim, very grim and dark still, right?
wasn't that impressed. I really don't think that DC is going to be able to capture the same excitement or the same amount of money as the Avengers. But hey, at least they're trying, so
Right.
good for them.
And look, it's a good sign that it seemed like there was more humor in that trailer than the entire movie of Superman versus Batman. So
Of course.
not that it's clearing a high bar or anything, but at least that's a good sign. And then lastly, the Wonder Woman trailer also aired. I actually thought the Wonder Woman trailer was more impressive. I'm more excited about that movie than
Yes, I'm
Justice
in
League.
love with that actress. So, should I have not mentioned
No,
that? Sorry,
she's
honey.
She's a very striking woman.
Yes, absolutely. So I think that movie will probably do pretty well, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Like prior to the whole Zack Snyder era, it's interesting to note that we're more interested in a standalone Wonder Woman movie than like the Justice League movie, like the whole shebang.
That's true. That's true.
So, anyways, want to know more about these stories? Check us out on CNET. I'm Roger Cheng.
I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
Thanks for listening.
And that's a cut on the recording.
That was a little long, right?
Yeah, extended version of the
I know.
359.
We just
but that's okay.
we just got too excited talking about those trailers.
talking about and we had a lot of things to say about Verizon, of course.
Yes, it's a head scratcher, right?
Yes and no. They're
Oh.
trying to expand. They're trying to do something different. I don't know that it's going to work.
Yeah, the carriers have had a very mixed history when it comes to doing things that are not part of their core business. When they get away from serving you phone business or phone
Yeah.
services, that's when they get kind of tripped up. So we'll see.
One of the things that I thought was also interesting, I read the story in the Seattle Times. They had like a good analysis that said like, why does the phone company not want to be your phone company anymore? And it has a lot to do with the fact that like anybody that wants a smartphone, we've talked about this on the show a bunch, is that like anybody that wants a smartphone already has a smartphone.
Yep.
There's like already been all of that innovation that's happened. So
there's
what's Verizon's next
There's
step?
that whole the dumb pipe stigma, right? They don't want to be the dumb pipe where all you're doing is paying for access. They want to be seen as a company that innovates, that does different things, and they have a bit of envy when it comes to looking at Google and Facebook and sort of those so-called over-the-top players, and they want a piece of that action, right? That it's just Google and Facebook are making money hand over fist on those ads, and Verizon just wants to get in that game.
I don't know that they do that with Yahoo and AOL though.
Yeah.
You know, like so they do have these platforms now that they didn't have to build from scratch,
Right.
but I mean, like their time passed a long time ago, and AOL became a much sexier player by reinventing itself as like an ad platform.
Right.
So what it actually does is a lot more back end stuff
Yep.
that like consumers aren't
Which is,
actually seeing.
which is to be fair, what Verizon really wanted, right? They got some of the other assets like TechCrunch and Engadget, like various media assets that sort of came in with the deal, but they were more interested in that ad platform, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we got some questions.
All right, lay them on us.
Let's do it.
Colton wants to know, what do you guys think Verizon will actually do with Yahoo?
Right. So basically,
That's
what we
the
were
million-dollar
discussing
question. Yeah.
is they're gonna use it, I think, primarily for ads.
Yeah.
You know, like they're gonna use it as like an ad exchange or like an ad platform. The problem is that with Yahoo, it's still like it doesn't have a social element to it,
Right.
and it doesn't really. Its search element isn't as strong as Google's, so it doesn't have as much information as Google or Facebook does about who you are, which means they won't be able to sell ads as much as a premium.
Well, you know, they also have Yahoo, to Yahoo's side, they have a number of interesting mobile applications properties that really haven't gotten their fair shake, right? Like tons of people still use Yahoo Mail, Yahoo Finance, Yahoo Sports online. I don't think they've really gotten that reach on their mobile apps. That was one of the points that Marissa Mayer made on her press call today, was that she's hoping that with Verizon's reach, she can get more people engaged in Yahoo's mobile apps.
Yeah, but like, why does Verizon care about Yahoo Mail? Like, how does that benefit Verizon to like overhaul Yahoo Mail in some way?
I guess if you're staying within the Verizon ecosystem, as opposed to, using Gmail, using all these other services, you're on your Verizon phone, you're using your Yahoo Mail app, brought to you by Verizon. You're part of this broader
they're
Verizon
creating
family.
an ecosystem. I get
Right.
it. Yeah. So to go back to answer what we know right now about that question that was just asked was, so in the immediate term, Yahoo and AOL are going to get married, and they're going to have like one Verizon executive leading both of them.
Marnie Walden, yep.
Right, and Marissa Mayer, who's the CEO of Yahoo, says that she's going to stick around. Though.
Yeah, but I feel like
we're
that's
a little skeptical
definitely
about
for
that.
perception's sake. I mean, she says she loves Yahoo. I'm sure she loves like the options she's going to get off of this deal, but and she says she's going to stick around. But I wouldn't be surprised if once the deal is closed that Marissa finds her way out the door.
So I read a story that mentioned that Marissa, with all the options and everything, she's going to walk away with about $218 million, something like that, after failing to turn around Yahoo over 4 years. So
Goes to show you, become a CEO, it's a good gig.
boys and girls, become a CEO.
Yeah, just mess up, succeed. It doesn't really matter. You're still going to make a lot of money either way. So
It's absolutely true.
Hey guys, Akash wants to know
Yes.
if they just bought it for data user ads in the revenue model. Also, will this just be another failed venture like what happened with Nokia?
like the Microsoft Nokia deal, you mean?
Probably.
Yeah, stemming from that, why didn't Microsoft take a bid on this?
I don't think. I mean, Yahoo's very consumer centric, and it's all about their online properties. I don't know if it would have made sense for Microsoft to buy them, because Microsoft
Did bid on them years ago.
Years
for
ago,
a lot more money.
But that was back when they were trying to be more of an online presence. I mean, their business is definitely more cloud services, enterprise stuff.
Yeah, they've changed focus.
They've definitely
that's for
shifted
sure.
focus. It doesn't make sense for Microsoft to really deal with Yahoo at this point.
Look, it could end up becoming another Nokia situation for sure, which
Yeah.
ended up being like a total disaster. The thing is that I think Microsoft spent a lot more money on Nokia than
Absolutely.
Verizon did on AOL or Yahoo. So I think what's really important to pay attention to here is that Verizon's core business is still its core business, and it doesn't necessarily need Yahoo and AOL to make a ton of money for them.
In fact,
they just need them to not lose a lot of money.
I think at this point, it's going to take years. If, for whatever reason, they hit home run after home run, it's still not going to move the needle on Verizon's business. They make so much money charging you for your wireless service monthly that it doesn't really matter. Like, this is a pet project that they can sort of have sitting around for the next few years.
Yeah,
right?
and theoretically, Yahoo could actually commit to a real turnaround.
Right.
Now being hidden inside like this giant superstructure of Verizon, and like maybe it will reemerge. This is being overly optimistic,
Right.
I believe.
Looking at the best case scenario.
In the
here.
best case scenario, they'll reemerge as a butterfly. Like 5 years from now, no longer under the the bright lights of Wall Street. But that's really a very optimistic picture.
That's extremely rosy.
Do you think that Verizon gained from having no major high bets for Yahoo? Do you think it was a steal? Do you think 4.8 billion was enough?
It was not a steal.
I don't think it was a steal. I mean, it's a pretty expensive acquisition, especially considering they just wrote down the Tumblr deal. That itself was worth $1 billion.
This thing is a fixer-upper,
Yeah.
and with fixer-uppers, you don't know if the foundation is broken.
Yeah.
So I think Verizon obviously had to factor that in.
I mean, look, they're looking at this not as necessarily a turnaround project. They want to take elements from this Yahoo deal or Yahoo assets, combine it with AOL, and create this massive digital ad platform. It's still to be seen whether or not that'll actually pay off. So that's why it's definitely not a steal. There's a big gamble here for sure.
Yeah.
Brian, any other questions?
Do you think Yahoo, is Verizon going to actually gain control of the Yahoo apps?
Yeah,
Why not?
I think most likely Yahoo will still run somewhat independently. AOL is still run by Tim Armstrong. and he runs independently. They report up to Marnie Walton, who's the head of Verizon's new business ventures. But I think they've been running fairly independently. We'll see, and I'm sure, given now that they've invested almost $9 billion between AOL and Yahoo, they'll probably have a firmer hand on control of these assets. But I'd imagine, at least for end users, you're not going to see a huge difference for a while.
Yeah,
And keep
it's
in mind, the
interesting
deal doesn't
you-
close until the first quarter.
Yeah,
So.
it's interesting you also mentioned that Tim Armstrong is still in control of
Yes.
Yahoo.
Yep.
I would find myself very surprised
Or
if
AOL.
Marissa,
Yep.
of AOL, I would find myself very surprised if Marissa Meyer a year from now is still in control of Yahoo.
Yeah, I would imagine if Tim Armstrong is still around at Verizon, he would probably be overseeing the combined assets.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I'm also very curious to see what they do end up spinning off. If they end up like absorbing both of these guys, or
Right.
if there's something that they can get rid of, just to turn a quick buck. you
Yeah,
know.
well, I mean, you could have said that with AOL, right? They had a ton of assets that are not really connected to Verizon's core business or even what they want to do, including like Engadget, TechCrunch.
I thought they were going to sell their
those
media
are all
properties.
assets that are still in control of Verizon. So.
Yeah, there were actually a lot of rumors that they were going to sell off Huffington Post
Right.
for a long time, and those have since
Never
quieted
happened.
down.
Never happened.
Never happened. The phone company still controls HuffPo.
Yep.
And I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, lastly, what
Yeah.
is Polar?
What?
What is Polar?
Polar is a delicious seltzer that we have for free in our office. They are not an advertiser, if that's what you're asking, but they should be
I
paying
actually
us.
forgot the name of the drink.
It's right here.
I know. I've just been grabbing it sort of subconsciously.
I think we've been. I try to hide the label.
Yeah,
just because we know that they're
dang
not
it.
advertising
Yeah,
with us.
I do a really poor job of hiding the label, but
Right.
they are definitely not a
CNET
sponsor.
mugs.
Yes, we really do.
Yeah.
Hey, we got
All
one
right.
more question leaking, and it's actually a good one.
Yeah.
They say in Florida, this one's from Rhodey. In Florida, Verizon sold internet service to Frontier and switched all mail to AOL. Will this merger switch the mail service back to Yahoo?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a really good question.
Yeah, I think it would be too destabilizing for AOL Mail
Yeah.
users to switch over to Yahoo. Plus, Yahoo Mail
I
is
think-
kind of terrible.
Well, actually, I use Yahoo Mail.
So do I.
But-
That's how I know it's terrible.
I think there's a distinction because AOL, because of its legacy as an internet service provider, the people had email accounts that were sort of tightly linked to their service, right? Whereas Yahoo is just sort of like anyone could sign up for a Yahoo account. It's not linked to anything in particular.
good
So
point.
I can't imagine that they'd force you to move back to Yahoo Mail.
I think everybody is like jumping ship to something else by now, like Gmail or whatever. So they
Right.
don't want to give you an excuse to leave. And
True.
that would be
That would
a
be
way
an
to do
excuse if
that.
they booted you off of the service you've been on for years. Yeah.
So
Good question.
I wouldn't expect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. All right. Well, I think that's a wrap.
Good questions.
Really
today,
good questions.
everybody.
Yeah, love it.
Fantastic.
We'll be back tomorrow. If you liked anything you saw or heard here, check us out on CNET.com. Podcast is available on iTunes, SoundCloud, FeedBurner, TuneIn, and Google Play Music. So,
Nicely done.
see you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Good luck.